Morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Came out for a sunrise walk. This is a little deceiving. The sun's coming up over this hill, but it's really been up for over an hour now. At what point is it no longer a sunrise walk? It's just a walk. I don't know. I'm not going to be too picky. But today I had to start my day with a little bit of work first, and then take a break and come out here and catch the sun. I usually like to have that in reverse order, but it doesn't always work out that way. Beautiful clear day. Lake and mountains. Turn around. I know you've seen this view before in my videos. It's my go-to walk. There's 2 or 3 parks close to my house and this great hill. Love how the shadows play over there from the clouds. There's this great trail hill that I like to walk. Catch sunrises and sunsets. But sometimes I'll travel a little bit further. Last week I got to a few different places. Plan on going around the rest of the state. The state I live in is Utah, and it has tremendous landscapes, just beautiful, breathtaking landscapes. It's kind of otherworldly. But hoping to get out and visit friends and family around the country as well. My friends and family network is spread out pretty extensively. And so we'll get there and share some of those with you too. Today I want to tell you about the time I just was ready to give up. I was in a job that I had accidentally fallen into. Tell me if that sounds familiar to anybody. And at first, there were some things I enjoyed about the job. I like helping people. So ended up learning how to help people solve their employment problems and help employers solve some of their hiring issues. But to be honest, the management where I was at was pretty stifling. The issues that were coming in with the people that needed help were really heavy. And it's hard to be in a job where you're helping people with heavy issues and kind of experiencing secondhand trauma through it and seeing some terrible outcomes in their lives when they're not getting the help they need and they're not learning how to take their life and make something of it. You know, a lot of the population we were serving, and I'm talking about like people who are applying for the government assistance programs, a lot of lovely people, a lot of sad stories. There came a point where I went, you know what, I've done enough helping these people. From this point, I'd been passed over for a lot of promotions, a lot of other opportunities at that job, and I started to wonder, do I have value in this organization? I think there's better ways to do this. But when you get just average performance reviews, and when you get passed over, not even invited to the second round of interviews, when you know you've got better education skills and better experience than the people that they're taking and promoting, you start to wonder things. It messes with your head a bit. And I was really lucky. I was bringing that home with me too. But I was really lucky that I had two things happen within a short period of time, where a friend of mine I grew up with came to town, and a few of us from our hometown in Southern California, who now live up here in Utah, we went out to dinner with our friend, and she reminded me how when we were young, we were going through high school, we just made our own stuff. We didn't need a job to do it. We didn't need to be paid to do it. We just found stuff we liked and created it. And I went, I haven't been doing that for a little while. I've kind of been letting my job define me and tell me if if I have value or not. So a little bit after that, went to lunch with one of my grad school professors, and we hadn't seen each other for a few years. And as I'm expressing my frustration with work, he says, well, Chris, you're not only an employee, and the skills that we taught you in the grad program aren't only to be applied in your work setting. If you're looking for something else and you're carrying this this attitude of chip on the shoulder frustration, it's not going to work out so well. So, morning. But we talked about how he's seen other alumni from my program be able to apply their skills and knowledge and talents to other settings. And he reminded me that we have a great network of nonprofits in the area. We have a very religious community with opportunities there, and just the rest of the things that go into supporting a community. And so I went away from that, and I called my city people. I told them, I'm looking for some opportunities to be involved. Do we have any performing theater arts programs in the city? The town I'm in, this town you see here, in the past video I mentioned, a lot of these houses, they didn't exist when we first moved in. This is a pretty new city. It really didn't exist before. I think it kind of came into existence in the very late 90s, 1998. Small, not a lot of services. It doesn't have the old town halls and stages and performance type places where other towns, even the small towns, have a place to come together and put on a show or have a meeting. It doesn't have that here. In fact, about 6 years into living here, they opened the first cemetery in town. And I've been in this town for about 14 years now. I thought, that's weird. This town didn't have a cemetery for a while. But anyways, I called the city and I asked, is there any performing groups, anything like that I can be involved in? And there was a very small one, a nonprofit. They didn't have a place to perform yet, but they were doing small shows where they were doing kind of concerts or a kid show here and there. And they gave me the contact information. So I gave them a call. And very quickly they said, hey, you sound like you're really interested in this. Would you like to be a board member? Now, I wasn't just the guy that went to work at my job every day. I was that plus a board member on my local Arts Alliance Council. And then I realized from the first couple years of putting my kids in sports, there weren't a lot of volunteer coaches. So I said, okay, I'll volunteer to coach basketball. And I'll volunteer to coach baseball. Within no time, I was a locally known and respected coach in my community, asked to be on the board for the baseball league here in our city. I was a board member again. The Arts Alliance even asked me, and I accepted to be their executive director for a minute. I wasn't just letting my work define me at that point. I was finding friendship, I was finding purpose and meaning outside of work. Now, this serves two great purposes. Because we're asking work to do a lot these days. Good morning. We're asking work to be the things that the community no longer is. We don't have the clubs and leagues that we used to have, that our parents and grandparents were involved in. Our religious community has dropped off significantly throughout the country. The pace of life and work means many people have two jobs, sometimes three. If it's a two-parent family, both parents are working. If it's a single-parent family, one parent is working 4 times as hard. The other might actually be working pretty hard too. Where do you find friendship, purpose, connection? A lot of people just take it into the workplace now. And we've had some cultural highlighting of how the workplace is a great place to find romance and friendship and the community you need. Shows like The Office and Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Superstore. A lot of these are NBC comedies, I think. But there's a lot of promotion of, yeah, your work family. Okay. It's nice to like the people you work with. But I think Gen Z is kind of looking through that and going, this is weird. I think COVID also kind of put into perspective how much time we're spending at work versus at home, and how life could be if we do have other places to put that attention and time and energy. So a couple things. If you're in charge or have any influence on the culture at your work, are you aware of how much your employees are looking to you to offer them something more than a paycheck? They're looking for security, they're looking for community, looking for friendship, sometimes therapy. They're looking, of course, benefits. But the workplace has become the cultural center for adults, straight from school to workplace. Second, if you're someone looking for those things and not finding it in your workplace, or even if you are finding it in your workplace, there's a lot more out there that can help shape your life and your relationships. Your communities need you. What did I get out of volunteering just a little bit? Got a totally different perspective on my life, redefined myself. I went into interviews with a completely different attitude, knowing that I had value, not just hoping that they wouldn't call my managers to get a blah recommendation, because all they would say is, yeah, he worked here. Well, can you tell us about his performance? And I was good at my job. They'd just say, well, we don't really talk about performance. We can just confirm that he worked here. And that's it. So I got a totally different lift in my life at the time and felt that I was making an impact, a real impact on people's lives. Art in a community, creating culture in a community, that's very impactful. Being a coach, just the other day, it's like 3 or 4 days ago, I walked into the gas station to buy myself something while I'm gassing up. And I ran into a kid that I coached on a baseball team 6 years ago. Now he's my height. He wasn't when I coached him. He was a shorty. But he's my height now. And I said, "What are you doing? It's been a minute." But he called out to me first. He said, "Coach, hey, it's good to see you." He asked about my kid. They were friends while they were on the team together. Told me what he's doing. He's now a fire jumper. He's a wildland firefighter out here in the West, although he goes nationally wherever they send him. And he's only barely out of high school, but he's taking a life adventure. But to walk into a store and have people call out your name because they know you, because you had an impact in their lives. Well, I may never have 1 million subscribers, might not ever get 1,000, I don't know. I may never have wealth and financial comfort. I may never have a book out or any plaques or my name on anything. But my name is on the minds of people that I gave my time and energy and life to help them learn how to be baseball players, performers, basketball players. And not just that, I tried to teach them how to be good teammates, how to be good friends, how to be accountable and responsible, how to be resilient, work through hard things, learn from failure. And they did. My life has meaning and purpose. Even more than being a good networking tool, even more than being, something that gives you opportunities to meet people and maybe find love or things like that. Being involved, finding your places to be involved, and there's tons of them. It connects you in a way that you know that you mattered to somebody and they mattered to you. What a great sunrise. Maybe next time I'll tell you about my favorite bully in high school, one of my top 5 favorite people in life. It's when we get up and find a way through the down times that we really learn the big lessons. And a big thank you to Dr. David Hart for that lunch, and my good friend Sarah Buffamani for reminding me I don't have to wait to make something good. Have a good day, everybody.